Hey YouTube, we have a bug out event featuring a new Pokemon, Sizzlipede. So the event runs from the 26th to the 30th. There's only like a couple things you need to know about this event, and we're going to look at the new Pokemon in a minute here. But it is 2 times XP for catching Pokemon with nice throws or better, increased candy for nice throws. So obviously try and throw nice, increased chance of candy XL for nice throws or better. So try and maybe put your auto catcher away for this one and just try and get those bonuses. Lure modules will attract Sizzlipede during the event. Shiny Wurmple for those of you who are shiny hunters, and shiny Venipede. And if enough Pokemon are caught with help from a single lure module, additional Pokemon will appear near the stop. So I guess it's one that they want you to use your lures for. So Sizzlipede and Centiskorch, Centiskorch would make more sense. Following Pokemon available. Okay, holy bug. I mean, it's a bug out event, so not surprising. The Pokemon are bugs and not great for GBL. But Caterpie, Weedle, Wurmple, Nincada, Venipede, Dweeble, Joltik, Rubbin, Dewpider, and Nimble. Maybe a Cutiefly. So cite their name. Sizzlipede in 1-star raid. And then there's just a normal research time. There is a free time research actually in here, one little module and encounter with event Pokemon. So that's pretty nice just to get that for free. Okay, this new Pokemon. Wow, I sure hope it's garbage. It is. 596 ranking. Why is that? So let's look at a stat product. Pretty bad stat product here. 129 attack. 98 defense is very low. 136 stamina is not bad, but 1700 overall is not fantastic. 130 attack's pretty high, so more of attack heavy Pokemon, but it's not like a glass cannon like your 140s, but it should hit pretty hard. Fire, the problem is right off the bat, fire is a terrible typing. Fire bug. They neutralize ground there, so fire bug's weaknesses are double weak to rock, yeah, because they're each single weak to rock. And then flying because of the bug, and water because of the fire. Fire is also usually weak to ground, but bug resists ground, so you neutralize that. Bug is weak to fire, but you are fire, so that neutralizes that. So you know you offset a couple of your weaknesses, but so in terms of like the main meta, I mean there's water always, of course, but flyers and rocks, not a ton of those in the main meta, so not terrible. But double resisting grass and single resisting steel, ice, fighting, fairy, and bug. I mean, it's nice to resist fighting whenever you can. Grass, there's some, but not a ton. And then fairy. So, you know what? For being a fire typing, this isn't the worst case scenario. Fire typing in itself is pretty bad, but this is not the worst. Now, moves. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Rough. Okay. So, like 4 things wrong here. Ember, not the best move. Damage per turn, pretty okay, but the energy is just not there. Again, in a meta where you have a lot of water too, having your main move being fire always just is a disadvantage. So Ember in itself is a bad move. On top of that, because it's only 3 energy per turn, these charge moves are actually slow to get to. Your fastest charge move to get to is 16, and that is insanely slow. Yeah, 16 on the lunge and crunch, and then 20 on the bug buzz and heat wave. And all these moves in themselves are bad. So even with same type attack bonus, lunge is only 1.6 damage per turn, 72 damage. I mean, you do lower the opponent's attack, so that's great. And then you have a non-stab crunch as your other one. So, ooh, this thing needs a heavy overhaul for the moveset. Honestly, it needs everything overhauled. It needs fast move and charge move overhaul to even have a chance here. So pretty rough. Again, get one fast when your strengths are fast move pressure but not bulky, inflexible, low shield pressure, volatile, and not technical. Or technical is a negative. Yeah, it uses complex move that may have a high degree of learning curve. It's basically saying you've got a very, very slow Ember with higher charging moves, which is kind of weird. Yeah, not great. So get it, cool, but obviously no play in this current meta. Not with even honestly, even if the thing was all grass meta, you wouldn't have play, but that's not true. But there's just so many way other better fire Pokemon too. In terms of the larger Pokemon that are out there, as you can see, bugs are not great. The best Pokemon that was on this list, Nimble, turns into low kicks at 147. And it's sort of like a glass cannon. And the only reason it's somewhat good is because it has the buffed Sucker Punch. And you are also dark, so you get same type attack bonus on that. So your damage, look, right? You can just see the difference between Ember and Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch has better energy per turn and better damage per turn. So it's just like significantly better move, Sucker Punch. So, and then you get to the moves quicker too, right? 12 and 14. So low kick's not bad. Airquinid, not like play in very, very limited cups. But outside of that, nothing else on the bug list has any sort of play here. And bug, unfortunately, there's a couple typings. I've already gone over this multiple times. But there's a lot of typings that just don't translate super well to Pokemon Go, given the advantage that other typings like water and stuff have. So like bug is generally always pretty bad, right? You have Golisopod as your best answer only because it has one of the best charge moves in the game in Shadow Claw and a very, very strong buffed Aqua Jet now. So that's the only reason Golisopod is in the top 50. But outside of that, you have nothing in the top 100 that's a bug. So that on itself is brutal. Fire is always a tough typing. We just went over that. You have for Marowak at 65, you have buffed Fire Spin and buffed Bone Club. And then the next one is Talonflame, which has the best damage and energy combo move in the game, and Incinerate, and same with Skeledirge, already outside the top 100. So like you're pretty rough for those two typings alone. What other typing's pretty bad? Grass. Grass is always a weird one. And the only reason that these Pokemon are so strong is because the movesets they have and the typing, right? Because you got like Jumpluff, not typing, sorry, the bulk on these Pokemon. So like Jumpluff with its stat product 2300, right? Huge defense and stamina is incredible. Superior, same thing. You're looking at a 143 defense, 128 for 2000 overall, but then getting that Frenzy Plant, which is just a broken charge move. So you've either got like the bulk with a spammy Fairy Wind, or you get the charge move in a Frenzy Plant, or you have buff now Rock Tomb. And your typing here kind of is the half rock gives you a lot of coverage for your weakness that grass would have in flying, right? So that kind of helps. That's why Cordelia's so high. But so bug, fire, and grass are generally three of the worst typings in Pokemon Go. Electric is up there too, but they've been doing their best to buff electric recently. Morpeko with the Aura Wheel is insane. Thundershock, so Emolga so high because Thundershock, Discharge, Acrobatics all got buffed. So 3 straight buffed. All these other Pokemon in because Thundershock's buffed. Electivire, Ice Punch got buffed. So they're doing their best to buff electric Pokemon. So we have seen a rise in the last, I'm gonna say 2 seasons minimum of electric Pokemon starting to make a play when they have not had no play for so long, despite the meta being entirely water. So that would be the 4th typing. And then your best ones, you have your water typing, which is just crazy good. Ghost is always a good typing. So Ghost, even Dark has a decent amount of play usually, and there it is too, right? So Poison was an interesting one. Poison is always hit or miss, but now with like buffed Poison Sting, like Poison wasn't good for a very, very long time, but now with like buffed Poison Sting and a couple like newer Pokemon, like Toxapex is relatively newer in the grand scheme of GBL. Bulky Pokemon there, and then Fairy Wind Sludge buff on Weezing. Did Fairy Wind get buffed? I think so. Like 5 seasons ago, 6 seasons ago. So yeah, those are your Anyways, bug out event. That was just a little Dan off rant there. Just to say that bug is generally not a strong typing, so get one of the new Pokemon. You don't need to worry about playing with it. Low kicks, like I said, has some play. Airquinid in like very, very limited cups, but outside of that, not a ton. Golisopod is obviously one that you want to focus on, but if you can get it. I forget if it was on the main list. But that is it. So we have a great league. We have league turnover this week. It's everything, which is great. Probably going to do a majority great league this week. So send me your battles, especially that is on next week. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.